Should we do some actual Subbuteo content for once? Why not? Okay, so some time ago, a good friend of mine called Anders Bishop donated this set to Subbuteo Tabletop Football. And I think I mentioned back then, I can't remember what number video it is, but it was a long time ago. I mentioned back then that what we could do is like try and restore the set. Now, we've been busy doing various Subbuteo leagues and all sorts of other silliness, but let's get back down to doing some actual Subbuteo collecting in a way, I guess it is. But also, I just want to sort of bring this back to life. Now, if we have a look at the set inside, I think we did have a look at this a long time ago. As you can see, standard sort of nylon-y pitch in there, that's fine. We've got a nice set of instructions in there, a little one of the little Subbuteo catalogues, which is all in good condition, so that's nice to see. But some of the other bits and pieces are a little bit damaged. Now, not having a scoreboard, not a problem, because I've got plenty of them knocking around, and I've really got to, and I'll do this perhaps in a separate video, get out all these goals and see if they're in working condition, so that's fine. Now, let's talk about how I was going to approach this, because I did make a bit of a mistake with it. Now, I thought that this, I guess I must have just looked at Argentina and West Germany, and I thought this was Italia 90, the Italian 90 set, but it's not. As some of you know, or some might not know, this is actually the Mexico 86 set. Now, I've been on to the Facebook group, Subbuteo Collectors, not the individual, the group, the Facebook group for that, and I did ask about this, and they said no, they confirmed, yeah, it's the Mexico 86 set. Since then, and perhaps opening my eyes a bit, there is a little bit of a clue in it. It says World Cup 1986 in this image here. Actually says Mexico versus Italy 0-0, and gives you a bit of a clue of what's going on. There's a picture there, and presumably that's Mexico, and presumably then that's Italy in that image, but that's not what you got here, because the final of Mexico 86, much like Italia 90, was of course Argentina versus Germany. Now, what I have noticed off my own back, sorry, I keep putting a shadow over on it, is that although the Argentina team do look quite similar, and we'll take a close look at them in a moment, the Germany team had a different kit. So in the Italian 90 set, they've got the kit with the sort of orange-red lines. Is it diagonal lines on it, isn't it? So, you know, we're going to have to... In fact, let me take a... Let's dive in and take a closer look at the players. So these are the players, the figures that you get with this set, or certainly I got with this set. And as you can see, it's got that West Germany kit that's got the black sort of stripes on the shoulders. And there's a few of the German chaps missing. So again, try not to get a shadow in there, but you can see there's some missing. That poor fella's headless. And then similarly over in Argentina seem in a bit of a better condition. But there is a couple of them missing as well. So the first thing I think is that we need to procure some replacements for the figures there. Now also there's a few other things missing. So with this set you get some kicking keepers. Trying to keep the camera out of it. They're missing. If I go that side, that's a bit better. And also footballs are missing. Now I'm going to tell you right now, I've been looking for the kicking keepers. If I see them on eBay somewhere, I'm going to get some. We've got a couple of keepers in there. They look like they're intact. Scoreboard, not a problem. And I've got to set up them goals to see what's going on. And this takes us really onto the next thing. Bear in mind that this is the Mexico 86 set. and I got myself a little confused. Anyway, let's talk about that next. Now, in my confusion, I do appreciate that's all my own doing. I saw a set on eBay, and I think it was a little bit busy at the time. Didn't sort of really check what it was, and I went on bid on it, and I won a secondary set. At the time, I was thinking it was a second set of the Mexico 86 version. Turned out, in fact, to be an Italian 90. Now, this is quite a sort of interesting bit if you're getting into Subbuteo or you're getting into Subbuteo collecting. In what I found in looking around is the Italian 90 sets, you can get them quite reasonably priced. So they tend to go for, let's say, 20 quid up to 50 quid for the Italian 90. Whereas the Mexico 86 sets seem to be more like a sort of 50 to 100 quid. And that's for a bit of a, you know, a sort of raggedy version, really. So it seems like that these ones are slightly more expensive if they're in good working condition. Nonetheless, I ended up getting the Italian 91. I won the bid and I bought it, and it has arrived. Now, what we're going to do is open this. So, again, do appreciate that now means that rather than having one set to restore, we got two sets. But I think, in a way, they are sort of linked, you know, that you got two successive World Cup sets in Subbuteo, and it would be nice if we had them just here to look at and able to put them all back together and just have them around out of historical interest of Subbuteo. So let's open up this Italian 90 set, and we'll have a look what sort of condition it's in, and then we'll talk about how much it cost me. So, don't know why I'm even using a knife on that. It's not particularly difficult to get into. I perhaps need a sharper one. This is, I really need to sort it out. Where's that little bit? Although I want to be careful, I don't want to cut into the actual set, because it does look quite shiny from the outside. Careful. Get that corner off. Now, straight away, look at this. Italian 90, very clear. I don't know how I got these mixed up. On that one, I think I was chatting to someone on the Subbuteo Collectors website, and they were saying that in 86 they brought this one out, or sort of 85 to 87 I think it was, they said. 85 to 80, basically a couple of years after. And then when the Italian 90 was coming around, they just, the first thing they did was rebrand this one. And then effectively Subbuteo made this set to follow it up. So for a while, it sounds like there was this set for Mexico 86 in a couple of versions. Then it was rebadged, but it was basically the same for Italian 90. And then they brought out the Italian 90 sets. So in this Italian 90 set, fairly standard what you got in there. 20 infield players, 2 goalkeepers, 2 footballs, 2 goals, pitch, which looks like a old nylon one, scoreboard, 20 of the green fences, 4 of the green fences that have advertising on, 22 fence posts, 4 corner posts, 8 Subbuteo fencing stickers, and that looks like a player's number transfer sort of sticker sheet. So let's open this up now and take a look inside. Okay, so looking at the box first, we have got in the 2 panels, one of the sort of glass plastic sheeting pieces is missing. But over on the set, it does at first glance look to be all there. I think what we can do is take these bits out and have a look what we got. Okay, so as expected, fairly standard nylon pitch there. We've got a little collection of booklets and rules. What's that? Something about the pitch cloth. It's made of the finest material obtainable for accurate play. Standard instructions, membership application form, a little Subbuteo Italian 90, what's that, a catalogue? Oh, look at this. Little catalogue of different bits and pieces that are suitable, and we can talk about footballs in a moment. Stickers, some of them use, some not. And then, of course, some of the old team scorecards at the bows that we've got there. So that they're always useful. Looks like there's quite a collection of them, most of them untouched. So that's good. Then, of course, we've got the very standard black Subbuteo scoreboard with the legs. 2 goalkeepers. Lots of the green fencing. I mean, I think anyone that has Subbuteo has plenty of these knocking about. Never short of them. Funny enough, I saw there's a little bit of a dull man's club Subbuteo collecting aficionado conversation about these, where someone asked a very reasonable question about why some have numbers on some part of them. So I think it's in that corner there. And they were saying, like, are they effectively a collector's set, or do you have to have them in order? And they say, no, they're just moulding marks. And then someone else was saying about how there is different types of green fencing. That's all a bit in depth for me. Then we got the fence posts. That's interesting. Set up your fencing. A few of them. Little bag here. What's this little bag? Don't know what's in here. Empty bag. Is that the original wrapping of the box? I don't know. I guess we can get rid of that. Interesting trophy. Don't remember World Cup having that trophy, but never know. More fencing. I wouldn't bother getting that out because it's basically more of the fencing. A little Subbuteo mini catalogue. And then let's look at the teams. Now the teams are a little bit higgledy-piggledy. There's one. And let's see if we can get this one out. There's the other. Now I've got a feeling these are going to be mostly damaged. So this is what we're looking at when we're talking about replacing things. Now already I'm thinking we're short quite a lot of West Germany players. Let's zoom in and have a look at them. Now I'll try and sort these out best I can. You've got a player there. He looks like he's leaning forward a little bit, but otherwise intact. Argentinian player. And that's a German player. That's obviously a dead base. We'll take that one out. Another Argentinian there. That German, he's actually intact. So we've got a couple of intact Germans. West Germans, sorry. A couple of fence posts, they can go there. Oh God, he looks like he's had a hard day at the office. Look at that. He's going to be replaced. Here's another one. Some people have been stepped on here. This poor chap. He doesn't exist. Another one being crushed to death. A lot of these are quite damaged, so you could maybe sort of reform that into place. But let's first just do a little bit of an audit of what we got. Another German, he's all right. Germans, more of the Germans seem to be intact. You've got a Argentinian there who doesn't look too well. Another German who's all right. Another German who's all right. This poor fella here, he looks a bit damaged. One arm and a little bit bent backwards. Another German, he's okay. And one that is bent forward. Now, what we're looking at here is 2 missing West German players. I think we might be able to do something with that. I might actually have a look through my bits and pieces. I'm not sure I've got any West German players, but I can always have a look. You never know. But quite a lot of the Argentinians not there, so we need at least 6 replacements. Now, this is what I found quite interesting, and perhaps what guided my hand when I was looking at Italian 90 sets, is that whilst the West German players are different in the 86 and the 90 set, the Argentinians look very similar. But how similar are they? So this is one of the 1986 Argentinians, and here in my hand I have that's the 1990 Argentinian, and this is a 1986 Argentinian. And if we put them over in the light, I'm having a bit of a job telling them apart. I'm sure there'd be someone that knows more about this than me that could say whether they're different. I mean, that chap's leaning forward. It makes him look a little bit short. But they do look very similar. So it's almost like the Argentinian team from both the Mexico 86 and the Italian 90 set are fairly interchangeable, which is very interesting because it's going to make it a lot easier to get replacements. What I'm also going to look at is getting a full set of these that is intact. Now, I've got quite a few of these knocking around, so I'm fairly confident I might be able to do that. And what I mean by that is all the ones that have been cut like that, I want to replace them for both the sets so that we've just got normal sheeted ones. So we'll have to have a separate video where I go through all my cards and then have a look if we've got that. So a lot to be getting on with there, but I mean, this is sort of all part and parcel of getting these old Subbuteo sets. I mean, you get what you pay for effectively, and if you want to or enjoy putting them back together, which is, I get a bit of enjoyment out of the idea of looking for bits and pieces that I can put in there to sort of recreate it again. You know, if you enjoy that, you can sort of get away with getting the sort of less expensive ones. I'm sure you could both these kits fully intact and in perfect condition somewhere, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, talking about money, how much did this one set me back? Not going to beat around the bush for this. It cost £12.50, and then on top of that there was £5.05 of postage. So in total, what's that, 17.55 it cost me, and I've got all that set to tinker around with. So I have been asked this before. It's like, you know, if you want to get into the Subbuteo, how much is it going to cost you, because it all looks a bit expensive. Delivered to my house for £17.55 or whatever it was. Yes, it's got some bits and pieces missing, but we can do things about that. And what am I going to do about it? Well, I'm going to tell you right now that I did also see on eBay for the princely sum of, I think, £6.50, an Argentina Mexico 86 set, which is, they look very similar to the figures in both the 1990 and the 86 set. So that's winging its way to my house as we speak. And when that arrives, I'm going to populate this team, if they're the same sort of figures, populate both these sets with the Argentina team. As for the West Germany ones, obviously we've got 2 teams to repopulate there. There's a couple of figures missing out the Italian 1990 set. I don't think that's going to be so difficult because there's a lot of places on eBay which sells the single figures, although that is an expensive way of doing it. The Mexico 86 set do need more of the West Germany team for that one, so that's going to be a little bit more difficult. Also, I got a couple of footballs missing. I did, talking about Subbuteo footballs, have a look at Astro Base, that's it. And they do, certainly for the Mexico 86, the Adidas Azteca footballs, but they're the small ones, so I don't think they're the right size. I think these are the 22mm ones. And I've got no footballs in this one, only one in that set. Now, as it is, I've also bought, and that was for the princely sum of £4, I think it was, a set of 3 of the Tango black and white footballs. So I'm going to use them effectively. You can get some 22mm balls of the Aztec, Adidas Aztec ones, which I've seen, which look absolutely astoundingly mint. They're like spot on exact replicas, but they're like best part of 15 quid each, and I can't really sort of justify that just for populating these sets. So basically that's where we're going with that. So as those pieces come in, I'm going to populate these sets with them, and then gradually we're going to build it all up. I'll dig out a new Subbuteo scoreboard for the Mexico one. I'll dig out some of the replacement team cards for both of them. And then as I do that, I'll keep you updated and we can see what we end up with. All right? Anyway, there you go. Genuine Subbuteo content on Gasbuteo Tabletop Football. Who knew? Anyway, until next time. Up the gas! One day.